win. Only one with a victory is Kaz Grala, that young man that will lead from the point in that green number 33. Justin Haley in the 24.
Be ready.
9 to go.
Great launch by Grala. Grabs the advantage. He's going to be able to swing wide into turn 1.
Boy, Gregson with a good start too from that spot right behind Grala, gets the second position, and Haley slots into third. Cindric lost a spot. Johnny Sauter slipped in there in front of him.
Great start by Johnny Sauter, but he's holding up. Looks like he's holding up Austin Cindric for just a moment here.
Watch Gregson. We saw how aggressive he was on the last restart, diving to the bottom.
John Hunter Nemechek inside of Cindric, but Cindric holds him off for position.
That 19 truck sure is strong.
Does Cindric have enough laps to get to the point? Can Kaz Grala hold him off?
Look at Cindric go inside of Johnny Sauter.
Cindric charges for position, gets inside, has the 4th spot.
How's everybody? We're about 2 to the 21 coming to you.
I don't have a horse in this race, and I'm as nervous as I've ever been. I mean, these kids up here, I know what's on the line. I know what they're fighting for. And this is just so intense. Look at Gregson close at the end of the back straightaway.
And certainly Gregson knows that Kaz Grala is already in the playoffs. He won the opener at Daytona. Noah Gregson said, if I knock him out, I'm not knocking him out of the playoffs. Is there going to be contact right here? No, almost.
Gregson got into him just a little bit, but Grala was able to control it. All 4 in the top 4 teenagers. Grala 18 years old, Gregson 19 years old, Cindric 19 years old, Haley 18 years old. Cindric has gotten around Haley now for the 3rd spot.
I think that's going to up the enthusiasm and the energy from the Gregson truck. Looking in his mirror, seeing Cindric coming, knowing how fast that truck is. He's going to have to get around Grala with any hope to win this race. Yeah. Nice turn by Kaz. He's able to gap the 18 truck.
And I'm sure they're letting Kaz know that that 19 truck is coming. Austin Cindric, they've already told him he has 10 lap fresher tires than Kaz does.
Well, look at Cindric close the gap on that 18 of Gregson. Well, if you're Gregson here, are you driving out the front windshield or the rear view mirror?
Well, right now, front windshield. He's got to be concerned about winning. It doesn't. If he loses another spot to Austin Cindric, it doesn't matter. He's got to get the win.
Make you a bit nervous, though, knowing that Cindric is stalking you for sure.
Oh, yeah, he's been the story this weekend, and he's in a good spot right now with those fresher tires.
Run for your exit there. He guards bottom right here. Go get him.
Here's where Gregson took a look earlier. Can't get to the bumper this time, though.
This is a place in the race, Phil, where I think if you're Grala, maybe give a little bit up on entry. Let them dive down near you on entry so you can jet off the corner and gap them on exit. I think that's what we saw there into turn 10.
Easy in, hard off.
Through turn 2, headed toward turn 3.
These are going to be the 7 longest laps of Kaz Grala's career, just fighting to hold off these 2 Chargers behind him.
See him open up a little bit of a gap over Gregson right now. He's got just a little bit of breathing room.
And you know, it's important for Grala. He's in the playoffs, but this team has been struggling. We talked about that. It's important for him to get the momentum when we head toward playoff time, and a victory here would do just that.
And give him another 5 playoff points, which will be huge.
And fire up those boys on pit road. Get that team behind you. Build some momentum. Those 2 behind him don't want to hear any of that, though. They have the same plan, the same desires, the same goals.
All 3 covered by just over a second as Cindric closes the gap on that 18 truck of Noah Gregson for 2nd place.
What about these teenagers, though, Vince? All 3 of these guys told us they could win this race. They would be in a position to win it late, and here they are fighting for it.
Gregson got out of shape.
Remember, we talked about the average age of the winners here at this racetrack in 4 tries, 18.75. So these guys are just where they need to be.
Yeah, we've got 2 18-year-olds and a 19-year-old running 1, 2, 3. I think we're right there.
By 1 day, the 19-year-old by 1 day.
Austin Cindric in that 19 truck celebrated his 19th birthday yesterday by breaking the track record and winning pole, and today he's trying to win his first race, as is that driver in front of him, Noah Gregson.
How about if they tell you to be perfect at Charlotte or Michigan or some 1.5, 2 mile track, you got 2 ends to negotiate. I can probably handle that. You've got to be perfect here on 10 different corners. That's what these kids are faced with.
That was a good turn 5 for Noah Gregson right there. We saw how good Austin Cindric was. He was able to get by Johnny Sauter in turn 5. Good turn 5 for Noah Gregson, but Cindric's right there.
Cindric looking for his opportunity to pounce and grab that second place position.
There's that draft we were talking about, Mike, but Noah Gregson's going to kind of block the inside of the racetrack on him.
But Cindric hangs tough. Last time by, Cindric by a couple of tenths of a second was faster than our leader, Kaz Grala. Oh, he's going to get into Gregson.
He does. Camping World 5 to go as the battle for second side by side. Cindric's going to get it.
He needs to get gone now.
Because you could tell Gregson didn't much care for the way he got it.
Gave him a little door shot there as they went down in turn number 1.
What will he do when they get up to turn 5? That's where he was so fast earlier, able to dive in, make them 4 wide. Can he hang close enough to try to pull that move off again?
What's the latest, Hermie?
Marcus Richmond is the crew chief for the 18 of Noah Gregson. He's actually watching the race from the grandstands going down in turn 1. Once the 19 got beside the 18, he said, let him go. He will go catch the 33. They will race each other, maybe wreck. We have a better shot to win that way right now than running down the 33. We'll see if he had a crystal ball he was looking at.
What a veteran crew chief move that is. I love that. Don't hold up that guy. Let him go up there and rattle the leader's cage. Maybe we'll get lucky. He wasn't going to hold off Cindric. Cindric had too much speed and too fresh of tires.
John Hunter Nemechek, you see the significant damage. This is why. Watch. Going into turn 1.
Ooh, just got a little bit loose.
So much damage to that truck, Phil. And then you see he gets into the outside wall, but his front end was tore all to pieces before that.
The final 5 laps of the race. And it's Kaz Grala right there, the leader, trying to win for the second time. He won the season opener at Daytona, but he's got to hold off Austin Cindric, who has had the fastest truck all weekend long. And Cindric is on the charge, and it is everything to Cindric. He's got to win to get into the playoffs, and this is his best chance to do it.
Cindric was a little bit quicker that last lap, even with the pass.
Back, follow in front of you there. Nice work. Good corner. Still good corner.
Love the spotters. They're telling those drivers everything they need to hear so they can go grab the prize. That draft is really picking up right there, Phil. The 19 of Cindric is close enough to gain speed on the back straightaway off the back of the 33 truck.
Did that put the leader at a disadvantage in that situation, Mike?
Well, it certainly gives him a chance to gain some ground, but when you're the leader and you can look at your line and pick out your corner entry, that's a bit of an advantage. But I would rather be on the fresher tires chasing like Cindric is right now than being Grala out front defending.
Total focus. Three to go.
You heard the call. 3 laps remaining. Kaz Grala trying to hold off Austin Cindric around this 10-turn course.
And he has to be perfect, Vince. He has to be absolutely perfect because, as Michael said, fresher tires on that 19.
Look at the interval up above, shrinking. He's able to just really close it down.
About a second difference just inside of it. Watch when they go on that long Mario Andretti straightaway along the backside of this course where they can pick up the draft, and we'll see if Cindric is able to really close the gap on Kaz Grala.
Buddy, nice work.
We saw Cindric gain on Gregson. That's how he was able to catch Gregson when they got down to turn 8.
Get him.
And here's that straightaway that we were talking about.
Noticeable gain right there, it looks like.
Under 8 tenths of a second.
Well, Grala doing a great job holding off Austin Cindric. Can he do it for a couple of more laps? When they come by the line this time, there will be 2 to go as they go through turn 9.
Setting them up, you're gonna drive by them.
And now turn 10. Cindric closes.
Oh, look how close he is now.
Looked like a little bit of a bobble
Go get
there.
him, man.
Off the last corner by Cindric. 2 to go.
4/10 of a second better that lap for Austin Cindric.
Gralla cannot afford a mistake. Nor can Cindric, because if Cindric has a bobble and loses significant ground, that could be just enough to give Gralla the distance he needs to protect the lead.
I think Cindric's going to get there.
Saw a tire slip there by Kaz Gralla. That's Kaz's mother, watching closely, cheering her son on.
Well, the nerves that she must be experiencing and feeling.
Well, we're nervous up here. Can you imagine how Karen feels?
Cindric right up to the backside.
You go, bud. You keep the heat on him. Nice corner.
Oh,
Nice
good corner by Gralla, too. He's able
Yes, it was.
to gap Cindric just a bit.
Great exit by Kaz on that corner.
There's Karen Gralla. She's in tears watching her son try to hold off birthday boy Austin Cindric.
Under the Canadian Tire Bridge, prayers and all for her son Kaz Gralla in that 33. Can he hold off Austin Cindric? They go through 9, and then here comes turn 10. Then it'll be to the start-finish line where they'll get the white flag for 1 lap to go. One remaining.
5 years in a row, we've sweated this thing out to 1 to go to see who's going to win. Who will come back and grab the checker?
Turn 1 on this 10-turn course.
Both these young men deserve it. It's a shame we can only have one winner. Kaz was a little bit wide there.
Remember, Cindric has to win to secure a spot in the playoffs. Looks inside. A little bit of contact possibly, but Gralla holding him off. They look so close. I'm not sure if they touched or not, but Gralla keeps the lead.
I don't see any way there isn't contact between these two trucks.
Going to be right here too, Michael.
And there is the bump.
Oh, and he spun him out.
And he spins.
You got it. Go. You're all clear. You're all clear. Coming to you guys. We got in the 33 just a little bit back there.
Austin Cindric with the big bump on Kaz Gralla pushes Gralla around, and Austin Cindric is going to come around for the victory.
That's the world we live in nowadays, guys. You can get your bumper to the guy in front of you, you're going to put it to him.
Great job.
He won the pole yesterday in record fashion, celebrating his 19th birthday, and today Austin Cindric wins at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
All right, great job, great job.
Doug Randolph said.
The checker because he holds the white.
Yeah, I don't think the flagman had the checker flag in his hand, even though we've completed 64 laps. Austin's not going to take any chances.
Yeah, he's
got it in
waving
it
the
now.
checkers now, waving the checkers for sure.
I believe if I was Austin, I'd keep going anyway. Kaz is liable to be upset about getting spun out.
And he has reason to be, or not?
I mean, it's like I said, Vince. That's a difficult question to answer. I think that there's bumps that you can stomach as a leader and understand that that's just the way you're going to race, and you race that guy back the other way. And there's sometimes when you just get wiped out, and that's a little bit harder to take. We saw a great finish in the Xfinity race on the road course last week. Kaz very maturely just drives by.
Cindric, yes, sir. Thank you.
I mean, that was the bump and run. That's what you call that. And I guarantee you Austin Cindric didn't want Kaz Gralla to spin out, but he certainly meant to knock him out of the way.
Yeah, without a doubt, that was, you use that front bumper.
And here it is. Gralla in the lead, and Cindric.
I think he felt like he only had 2 opportunities, Michael. I felt like turn 5 or turn 10. I think that was probably his only 2 opportunities to get that bumper to Kaz.
And I think Kaz made sure that he didn't overshoot the corner, and that gave Cindric a chance to knock him in the tailgate.
See Noah Gragson go by. Noah will end up finishing second. Kaz will hang on to third.
Well, it's a tough way to lose a race, that's for sure, but we've seen it year after year here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I mean, that's the way the races have ended, with contact before the checkered flag.
Amazing drive though from that penalty. Restarted 16th on lap 42 or
45, lap 45.
Yeah.
He was just perfect, Phil. He made the right moves at the right time to put himself in a position to grab the checker flag. I didn't think he could overcome that much of a distance that late in the race, but I love the move that Doug Randolph, the crew chief, made, putting those 4 tires on after they had the penalty, that could be the key to this victory.
The 10th career win for Brad Keselowski Racing, and the crew chief is with Hermie.
What a roller coaster day it's been for you and your race team. Your emotions about the job your driver did coming down the stretch.
Man, he did an incredible job today. We didn't do our job on pit road, didn't execute, and team's been through a lot for sure, but Austin put this team on his back today and carried them to victory lanes. Any comment, or he said himself he did not want to do what he had to do there on the last lap with the 33, so your thoughts on that? Yeah, I hate that happened. You know, we put him in a position where he was from, behind all day and trying to catch up, and just hate it, for everybody on the 33, and proud of all my guys. That's Doug Randolph there, going to victory lane and racing for a championship. Chris?
Well, Kaz Grella was half a lap away from getting his second win on the season. Kaz, was that a bump and run, or was that a dump and run?
That was a dump and run. To be honest, I know he's racing for a playoff spot, and I get that, but, I mean, he didn't try to pass us even. He just got to us and ran us over. Last year, you can say what you want about the finish, but you know what? They finished 1-2. They were both going in the right direction. I mean, I don't think he even braked for turn 5. So, honestly, I know he's a great road course racer, and I had a lot of respect for that, but I lost some right there because I wouldn't race someone like that. I'd move them out of the way, especially with as much on the line as he had, but that was too dirty of a move. I can't get behind that at all.
Thanks, Kaz.
Frustration and celebration. Austin Cindric celebrating the win today. Back at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and with the Austin Cindric win today, oh, how that has tightened up the playoff picture as we go to the regular season finale in a couple of weeks in Chicago. With Cindric's win, he is now in, and Chase Briscoe, with a 75-point advantage to the line, has clinched his playoff spot as well. So that only leaves one position remaining available, and look at that, Ben Rhodes and Ryan Truex. 7-point difference heading to the regular season finale at Chicago. Downstairs to Chris Neville.
Yeah, Noah Gragson gets his best finish of the year, but Noah, you needed to win. See some frustration on your face. Is that because you didn't get the win or the contact with Austin Cindric?
It's just hard racing. I used my truck up there. Just a bummer. I really wanted to win this race, and I gave it all I could. Just unacceptable on my part. I mean, I was in a position where I had to win, and I didn't get the job done. So my guys, they put a really good Toyota Tundra under me, and just really bummed out. I want to thank Switch, everyone from Las Vegas, Dust Nash, who kind of helped me learn this road course racing style racing. So he kind of brought me up through the legend car ranks. So I want to thank him, everyone who's got me to this point in my career, helped me out, so just really want to win that bad.
Now let's go over to victory lane with Hermie.
Austin Cindric has made his way to victory lane. He climbs out. Man, where do you start with you and your race team the last couple of weeks? You get news that this team is not coming back. Next year, you come to this racetrack knowing you had to win, and you get the job done. You're now racing for a championship. Your emotions?
You're exactly right. We have 2 trucks that are capable for the playoffs at BKR. It's exactly what the boss needs. It's exactly what these guys deserve. It's exactly what our sponsors deserve. Draw Tight, Reese, LTI Printing, everyone that's up. It's out. Ford Performance, their first truck win of the season. Roush H Engines, this thing went like a champ all day. I got to acknowledge what I did to Kaz in turn 5. Everyone's watched this race many years past. Everybody knows it's going to come to contact. The second guy's closest to the first. I raced with Kaz growing up. He drove my Bando, was the first car he ever drove. I know his family, so I know they're not going to be overly excited about it, but he already had a win, so I didn't feel too bad about having to do something to make it happen for this team.
He said he expected contact, but was expecting you to try to pass him instead of just dumping him in that situation.
Yeah, I honestly ran out of time. He did an awesome job on the tires he was on. He made me put me into that box. I mean, he was doing a hell of a job on old tires, trying to stay out in front of me, and that's kind of the last resort I had. I didn't know what kind of race speed I was going to have going on the backstretch, and I'd rather not have it go into that. I'd rather have it somewhere I can control it, and that's what happened. But awesome to have these guys in victory lane, especially with the BKR tributes.
These guys come back from a penalty. From last to first, they win at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
That's right, Hermie. They had a penalty for a piece of equipment drug out of the box. Their gas can got stuck in the gas receptacle as they were trying to pull out of the pit stop, and he had to restart 16th on lap 45, and in 19 laps made his way all the way back to first place.
It's just it's the world we live in, and we've seen it here the last couple of years. Guys just run you over to get the victory. It's tough to watch, but that's just the way it works.
Our regular season finale Friday, September 15th, under the lights from Chicagoland Speedway. We'll qualify at 5 o'clock, the setup show and the race all Friday, this 15th of September. Now later tonight, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series from Darlington, 6 o'clock Eastern on NBCSN. And tomorrow, don't forget Race Hub. Recap the exciting race weekend Monday evening, 6 o'clock on FS1. Coming up next, NHRA qualifying from Indianapolis. Congratulations to Austin Cindric, the winner at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, clinching his spot in the playoffs and a chance to run for a championship.